This NS2 second program. The program is implement transmission of ping messages or trace a route over a network topology consisting of 6 nodes and find the number of packets dropped due to condition. So here the question explains, it tells us to and implement a network in such a way that the condition should occur between some number of nodes. Okay, and here they have given the six nodes. So we have to create a condition between a 6 nodes. Okay, so when the condition occurs, obviously the packet will get dropped. Okay, how many packet will get dropped, that also we should make a note of it. And here we have to use a ping messages. So ping messages is nothing but, so we know ping tool, right? So what it will do is it will send a request, okay, to another node. So then the other node will gives us a reply. Okay, so what it will gives us the information is, the communication between two systems will exist, right? So when there is a request and reply is available between them, then 100% there will be a packet transmission between them, from one node to another node. Okay, so this is a tool which mainly provides the information such as packet sending reply by sending a packet, and at the same time it will receive the packet. Okay, so it will get the acknowledgement for that packet. Okay, so that is a request and a reply. Okay, both is available, okay, between the two nodes. And here that is done by the ping agent. We are going to use here ping agent. So here in the first program we have used CBR and TCP and all, right? So here the complete work, okay, will be done by a ping application itself. Okay, so that is what the main difference between first program and second program. Okay, I think we can make out that. Okay, let me come to the program now. Okay, so we'll take you to the program. So this is a normal NS object which has been created for a simulator, right? So for a simulator class, in the similar manner, this is the object I have created, that is NF. Okay, nam file NF, and I have opened the animation file in the right mode. Okay, so I think we are able to analyze it by taking one paint. In the paint I'll write it. Okay, so this is how I'm going to create one animation file. I opened it, and name of that animation file is lab2.nam, right? So lab2.nam. In the similar manner, I'll be having lab2.trace file. Okay, so this is lab2.trace file. So this is a trace file, it's an animation file. Both I have opened. Now on execution with the NS, what will happen? So the see, whenever I create any nodes here, I've created one node here. Suppose I've created one node means that will be updated, right, or traced onto my animation file. This is how the node will be created, right? Hope you are clear. This updation is done, this tracing is done because of this nam trace or animation file trace. In the similar manner, so the trace file, that means trace file means what? This lab2.tr. Okay, so even see, animation file give you the pictured, the pictorial representation, that's all. But the trace file give you the complete behavior, how many packets sent, how many packet received, who is source, who is destination. Okay, and how many packets are dropped and all. Okay, the behavior, the exact behavior is available in this lab2.tr. Okay, in the text format. But in animation file, you will get the pictured representation. Okay, so that's all the difference between animation and trace file. So this is how we are going to create the trace file and animation file. Then go to the creation of node. Okay, that is done by a set command, that is set 0, that means node number 0. Okay, and okay, till here I'm going to create totally 0 1 2 3 4 5, totally 6 nodes I'm supposed to create. Okay, so let me create it. So what will happen? Okay, so 0, node number 0, node number 1, node number 2, node number 3. Okay, so let me write it in this way. Yeah, I'll take it now. Okay, so 0 will be created, node number 0, node number 1, node number 2. Okay, so somewhere here node number 3, somewhere here node number 4, somewhere here node number 5. Okay, it could be in any way, but as per the requirement I have written. Okay, so this is how nodes has been created. Now here I have just make it one node 4 as shape box, let it be. Okay, something like box status. Okay, so it indicates you by default, something like this is where it acts as an intermediate node between all other nodes. Okay, that's all. Then go to the link between them, that is duplex link between 0 to 4. So see here 0 to 4 duplex link between them with a bandwidth 1005 MB. Okay, so 1005 MB and 1 milliseconds of propagation delay. And if the data packets are more than the bandwidth, packet will get dropped. Okay, between 0 to 4. That is what with this particular line. In the similar manner, we'll go to the second line, that is node number 1 to 4. 1 to 4, I'm going to provide a link. See here 1 to 4 with a bandwidth of 50 MB. Okay, in the similar manner, node number 2 to node number 4. Okay, node number 2 to node number 4. So let me write it. Okay, I think this is better. You're able to see it clearly, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, so node number 2 to 4. So let me do it now. 2 to 4, something like this. So with a bandwidth of 2000 MB and 1 milliseconds of propagation delay and drop time. Okay, so in the similar manner 3 to 4. Okay, 3 to 4, the duplex link. That means duplex link means what? We can send the packet from 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. Okay, so it may be something like 3 to 4 packet will send, 4 to 5 acknowledgement may be available. Next is 4 to 5. Just see it here, 4 to 5. We can send the packet, the link between 4 to 5. Something like this. 0 will send the packet to node number 4. 1 is also send the packet to node number 4. 2 is also send the packet to 4. 3 to 4. Okay, we can send 4 to 5. The packet may be sent from 4 to 5. Okay, something like this. Anyway, the duplex link between all the nodes is available now with the bandwidth also and propagation delay also, and what to do if the bandwidth overflow. Okay, so that also available. Now come to the agent, right? So what agent will be added so that we are going to get the creation of traffic. Okay, so the packet will be created so that traffic is available inside the network. This is a ping agent, as I have said you in the beginning. So so whether a particular host is reachable across the IP network, right? So when I have sent an 0 to 4 the packet, okay, so the IP, right? So I should know the IP address of 4, node number 4. Then I'll send the packet, right? So then it will also take care of how much time it will take to reach the data packet from 0 to 4. Okay, so at what time the 4 has sent the acknowledgement to the 0, node number 0. Okay, so suppose I'll write here one small diagram. So here round trip time, right? We know the concept of round trip time. I've sent a packet here from source to destination. Similarly, I'll get the acknowledgement, right? So I have received the packet. That is how the destination will give me the acknowledgement, right? The time between source sending the packet and receive the acknowledgement. Okay, so this time is round trip time. Okay, so this round trip time information is also available in this particular uh, ping application or ping tool. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll create a ping agent. Okay, then I'll attach that. Okay, let me take that. P1 has been created and attach it to node number 0. Okay, so I have attached it here. Let me attach it P1, okay, to node number 0. In a similar manner, P2 I have created and attached it to node number 1. Okay, so these two lines. Let me tell you this packet size and interval later. Okay, let me attach first agents. Okay, so P2 created and attached it here. Next, P3 I have set it and I have attached it to node number 2, P3. Okay, let me do it. Next, go to P4. Okay, so I've created and I have attached it. So P3 for node number 3, I've attached P4. Next to P5, I've created and I've attached it to node number 5. So for 4, I'm not creating any packets here. It's not creating any packet or creating any traffic here. So it's not giving you any packet. Okay, it's not creating any packet. So I'm not attached any ping agent here. Okay, so now what will happen? Now I'll go for a packet creation. Okay, see here, I'm going to create the packet by only P1 and P3. Okay, so P1 will create the packet here. This is how it will create the packets. Okay, with a size of some 50,000, some size, with some size. And even P3, this will also create the packet. Okay, so P1 will create the packet and P3 will create the packet. Okay, so that acts like a two sources. You can add even P2, P4 also as sources. Okay, here in this program, as which has been written here, only we have taken P1 and P3. Okay, so these two will create the packet and send you to the destination. Okay, so here also set interval provided. Why the set interval is available here? As I have explained in the program number 1. So when the packet number 1 is created, so the next packet will create after an interval of 0.00001. Okay, so it could be anything. You can increment it or you can decrement it. Then we'll go to the with a very important, that is queue limit. So queue limit is also provided so that you can queue some number of packets between the nodes. Okay, so that will somehow avoid the traffic. Okay, so here we have provided the queue limit of 0 to 4 as 5, 2 to 4 as 3, and 4 to 5 as 2. This is how queue limit is provided. Then go to the important, here procedure is available. So without this procedure, your ping application never work. Okay, so let me take you. So this is where, so I'll call the procedure. Okay, instruction procedure. So here it is round trip time. So here what happens, as I said you, we are going to get the uh, ping tool here, which will send the packet to my destination node. Okay, it will receive the reply from the destination node, right? It will receive the reply also within some RTT. That information is available in this particular command. Okay, in this particular command. So here the by self, the P1 will send a request. Okay, and it will wait for acknowledgement. Okay, within some RTT it will get the acknowledgement. That information will be printed here. Okay, so that's what actually provided over there. Then source and destination information. As I said you, we are provide a source and destination, then only the packet will be transmitted between them. Without this connect command, we are not able to get the source and destination information. Okay, so here P1 is a source, P5 is a destination. Okay, that means node number 1 is a source, sorry, node number 0 is a source, and node number 5 is a destination. Okay, so here it is, P1 is the attach agent attached to the node number 0. Okay, that is why P1 $P1 space $P5. Okay, so something like this. Who is source, who is destination here right now? Let me take it here, 0 to 5, right? So node number 0 to node number 5, that is nothing but P1. Obviously I can't go to 5 directly, via 4 only I can go, isn't it? In the similar manner, P3 to P4. So P3 means this one, node number 2 to node number 4, right? So this will also send the packet to node number 4, and even P1 will also send the packet to node number 4. That is where the condition will create, the traffic will create. Now the packet will move from 4 to 5. Okay, so since the bandwidth between 4 to 5 is very less, okay, it was around only 1 MB, obviously it will create the condition and packets will get to drop from here. Okay, so something like this, the packets will get to drop. Okay, this is how your animation looks like. Okay, so then it's a finish. So let me go to this first. Okay, so as I said you, so by self it has to send the request. So P1 will send the request, that means it will send the request packet. Okay, so it will start at 0.1 and it will continue till 2.9. In the similar manner, second source, that is P3, will send the request and it will continue till 2.9, and when 3 it reaches 3, it will finish, it will stop sending the packets. Okay, request packets. That is what finish will do. When it comes to finish, uh, again it is same. So here the whatever the objects is available, okay, so that is global, the objects which we have created is NS for simulator, and NF for trace file, TF for sorry, animation file, and for trace file it is TF. Okay, so now what the NS will do, so it will dump or it will flush trace all the files, okay, and it will close the objects NF and TF. So that may be utilized by some other project, okay, some other program. Now the data, the program, that's animation file is available in some address here ampersand, so it is easy for us to execute in that particular address. We should go to this address, so we'll be having a lab2.nam animation file is available. It may be in our system device, so we can execute it. Okay, so this is how we can send the request and get the reply back. Okay, so that is done by your $ns run command. So now we have to execute the program. Let me take you, it is, so we have to give the password here, then we'll take to the command. So let me go to the command mode first. Okay, so this is how command mode looks like. Okay, let me show you one more time how it is. So we should go to the, in application we'll get a terminal. So this is where we can give the commands. Okay, so what command I should give, I should open a file, so that is done by a command gedit space, so lab, second program it is, so lab2.tcl. Okay, so if I just enter, I'll get the file. You can type the program in that. Okay, so let me show you first one empty file. So this is how we'll get empty file. How to type your program. Okay, then you have to save it. Then you have to save it here. Okay, again you have to close so that you'll come back to the command mode. Anyway, I've already typed the program lab2.tcl. So it will take me, the second program is available. Okay, yeah, if it is not there, so let me take the program here. I'll just take the program, just a second. So I'll take the program. Okay, yeah, just a minute. Okay, I don't have the program here. Let me take the program. Yeah, we have to type the program. Anyway, I don't have much time, so that's why I'm just copying it. Without typing the program, it's highly impossible to debug the errors, and understanding the NS2 tool, it's highly difficult. So we have to type the program. Okay, so anyway, so here I'll go to the, okay, so now just see to it, if there is any error, see we have to save it. Okay, so then if there is any error, you won't get the animation file directly, otherwise you will get the animation file directly. Okay, let me run it. If there is any error, let me debug. Okay, so the command for run the animation, run this particular simulation program is ns space program name dot tcl. Just enter. So I got the animation file. There won't be any error. So what could be the error? Suppose I'll go to program. I'll just make some error. Okay. Okay. Suppose here, what error I can make is, okay, here finish. Something like this. Some space I've removed. Just close this and I'll run it. Okay. So what will happen? there may be a wrong, right, invalid command in the finish. Like that, you will get the information. So at that time, what you should do, should go back to the program, go to that particular line, and just see to it. What's a mistake? Obviously, space is a mistake. Just save it. And sometimes even this comment line also leads to error. Okay, so be careful. Then close this. Then just run it. Okay, this is how I'll get the animation file. Just relayout it. So this is the way you can relayout so that it's easy for you to analyze your animation file. Okay, so this is the node number 4, which is exactly in between all other nodes. Okay, just play it. So it started 0.1. It will be end by 3, right? So as we know that when it reaches to 3, it will stop. Okay, just see here, we are getting the condition in the node number 4, and we are getting the packets drop here. Okay, because of condition, we will get the packet drop. We should be we can't count here. We don't go for counting here. Okay, so obviously, and even you can't move, don't forward more. uh, we have to wait for a time to complete or reach the finish time 3. So when it reaches to finish time 3, it will stop and we'll get the information. Okay, so this is animation file you are seeing. Simultaneously, the trace file is also updated, right? Yeah. So let me show you this is animation file you have seen anyway. So I'll show you now what is the trace file. So just open it by gedit. Okay, gedit lab 2.tr, right? Trace file. Just open it. So see here, we are getting the 12 columns trace file. Okay, first column is event. This I have repeatedly, one more time I'll tell you. First column is event. That is nothing but plus indicates enqueuing the packet, minus indicates dequeuing the packet, R indicates the packet is received by some receiver, D indicates packets were dropped. Okay, so first column itself will give you the drop information. The second column is time. Okay, so the third column is source node. The next fourth column is destination information. Then the application which will gives you the packet, that is ping application, right? And so the packet size, and next column is flag information, which is not required for us, and this is the flow. So flow id, that is nothing but 0 for ping, and source address and destination address. Here it is 0, 0.0 and 5.0, that is nothing but 0 is the source node and 5 is the destination node. That's all. Okay, so and we have a sequence number and packet id. Okay, so these are all information is available. The 12 columns are there in the trace file. Okay, even I've explained in the first program also. Okay, the same thing. So here we want the information of how many packets are dropped, right? So here if you go through this trace file, we'll get 1D. If you go down, we'll get more, one more D will get, like that we'll get some continuous D's here. Here one more D, here one more D, right? We can't count, right? It's highly impossible to count how many drop packets are there in my trace file. For that purpose, what I'll do, I'm going to write the, what I'll do, I'll just write the awk file. So which will help me to fetch the data or give me the data as how many packets are dropped. Okay. So for that purpose, I'll write the awk file. So what I should do, I have to type the program by, again, open a new file in the gedit lab2.awk. Okay, so we have to type the program anyway, so I will copy it. Okay, so with a timeless, just copy it. Yeah, yes, I just take the program, so just copy it. So let me go to the terminal again. Yeah, it's available here. Awkward. Okay, okay, just copy this, go to terminal. See, if you felt little bit difficulty, what you could do is just go to terminal. That's all. Very simple. Okay, so now gedit lab 2 dot awk, enter, just paste it. See here, the space should be there before flower bracket, as I said you. And here also, $1, if the first column is equal to, see, double equal to D. Okay, so it gives you the information. The first column is equal to D, then we have to count it, right? So for that purpose, I've used a variable here, drop. Okay, so drop variable will be incremented. So as soon as I see 1D in the event column, so my drop will be incremented. Drop variable will be incremented. And here also, I have to give a space here because before flower bracket, we should give a space. And also, I'm going to print some information, that is fifth column. That is what type of packet it is. We know that already, it's a ping type. Anyway, just save it and we'll run it. Let us see what I'll get. Number of packets dropped information I should get, right? So just I have to, after execution, the animation file, trace file is having all the data. I've already showed you, right? So just I want to fetch the data, how many packets are dropped. For that, what the command? Just awk. So please remember awk if okay, lab 2 dot awk space lab 2 dot tr. Okay, just enter. So this is what output. So the total number of ping packets dropped due to condition is equal to 20. Okay, so if you count in the trace file, obviously we'll be having the how many Ds will be available. Totally 20 Ds are available. Okay, I hope you are able to understand. Okay, so this is what your second program, which will give you the information of how many packets are dropped. Okay,